Hey everyone, it's MeraMangle, and today on Mangle Morning, we are going to be ranking the Snatch games on RuPaul's Drag Race. All the US Snatch games are going to be ranked. I feel like All-Stars and International, those could be videos on their own. So if you like this video or if you want to see those, make sure you leave me a comment down below to let me know. But we've got Snatch games on seasons 1 through 18, which means, God, 18 just sounds crazy. I cannot believe we're on season 18 still, and it's almost over. Anyway, so we've got 17 different Snatch games that we're going to be ranking today. I did not consult with anyone in terms of this ranking. This is just my ranking, but I'd love to hear your personal ranking down in the comments below. How would you rank the Snatch games? We're looking at, in terms of how the Snatch games are being ranked, I'm looking at overall quality of the Snatch game. Not only multiple standout performances, but also just the overall watch quality. Was it fun to watch? Were there good characters? Were people creative? But before we get started, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like the video, and join the Patreon where you can see all kinds of additional content you can't see on YouTube, plus you're helping support the channel. Now you can also support the channel by tipping on Venmo or CashApp like Koichi H, who just gave me a little tea brewing, hot tea. I feel like they're saying that I'm delivering the hot tea, or I'm delivering some tea, or they like to watch me as they drink tea. Either way, I appreciate it. Now, of course, you can also tip using the YouTube thanks, and we'll go over some of those at the end of the video. So we're going to get right into my ranking. I don't know what's going to be controversial, but to me, the bottoms are pretty clear. There's like a section that's like the bottom 5, pretty clear. We're going to look at 3 at a time. So at number 17, dead last, the very lowest Snatch game, season 11. Then at 16, season 15's double Snatch game. That's why that's on there twice. And then at 15, I have season 18. Now, I have season 11 last because no one made me laugh. They tried to do a boat theme, but there was nothing special. Just the decoration was a boat. Silky won that Snatch game as T.S. Madison, and she did do some of T.S.'s quotes, but she wasn't funny like T.S. Madison was. She just talked about the length of her hair and the hair, you know. She kept the energy up, but that's it. There's a lot of bad performances. Even other folks that were in the top, like Nina West, she wasn't funny. And I believe she did 2 characters. Sugarcane's Charo, we had already seen Charo done better. Like Yara Sofia on All Stars 1 gave us a more lively version of Charo that was appropriate. She did get there, and she did better than some people that have done Charo, but it was just fine, and it wasn't anything special. There's a lot of bad performances. Plastique, Evie Oddly, Brooklyn Heights, Akira, Vanjie, a lot of the strongest players in the competition all bombed Snatch game. I mean, those are some iconic queens, and they all did just so bad. Just not able to be funny at all. Somehow took the life out of Whoopi with Evie. Season 16, they experimented by doing Snatch game. I believe, episode like 3? Lucy LaDuca won that Snatch game, but we had already seen Jimbo's Joan Rivers, and it was nowhere near as iconic or as amazing as Jimbo's. It still was good, but, you know, she was holding up the whole ship, especially in that first group. It's truly the only person that was funny, I believe, at all in that group that Lucy was in. Because there was 2, they really didn't show a lot of the majority of the folks. Actually, you know what? No, that's not true. Amethyst was decent as Tan Mom. I thought she could have been a top. That was funny. In the group that Marsha was in as Tim Gunn, she was funny as Tim Gunn, but no one else was funny in this group. It was all bad. None of these characters worked. None of them landed. It was all flat. Gordon Ramsay. I don't even think she tried to say she was Gordon Ramsay's sister. She just was like, I'm Gordon Ramsay for Anitra. Rosie O'Donnell was not Rosie O'Donnell at all. Sugar and Spice doing Hannah Montana, doing the quotes to Trisha Paytas for some reason. That was pretty messy. Season 18 is 15. This one I feel like is not, it's the format. This is the biggest departure on the US regular seasons from the format of Snatch Game. Like, by far. I know a lot of people actually really liked it. I don't think it worked. I just didn't find any of it funny, with the exception of Mikey Meeks' Drew Barrymore, but she didn't even win. The winner ended up being Nene Coco's David Attenborough and made them very sexual. And so it's kind of a trope. Same thing with the Pope just being extra gay, like making a character gay or foul-mouthed that normally wouldn't be. It's just kind of like played out, I feel like. You're not actually doing the character, in my opinion. So I was surprised that Mikey didn't win because I felt like she was definitely the only person that did the impersonation and was able to be funny consistently. Hit every time. It just didn't feel like we were playing Snatch Game. I didn't like any of it. And the majority of the performances were cringeworthy. Next, numbers 12 through 14. At number 14, I have season 14. At 13, I have 16. And at 12, I have season 17. Before I put this list together, my instinct was, oh, well, of course, season 14 is going to be dead last. But it's actually an easy watch. And also, Deja Skye carries that Snatch Game. Even though it's like just the one character slaying it, what's different to me compared to those bottom three is at least it's funny every time, and it's a fully formed character, and it's someone we hadn't seen yet at all. I genuinely think this one is better than the others just because of Deja Skye. For season 16, Saphira Crystal playing James Brown was my MVP, but Plain Jane won that Snatch Game as a Russian pop star. They were truly the only two that I believe were able to be funny at all. Amelia Earhart, Trina's cousin, the Golden Tooth Fairy. It was really weak. It was truly the two of them carrying it. But at least we're to the point now where, at number 13, there's at least two people doing well, which I feel like is different than the 14 through 17. I would say 17 is a little bit better because Anya Nerve's Eddie Murphy was so funny. And the impression was so good. I feel like people kind of sleep on that one. I feel like it's one of Anya's highlights because the impression was one of the best I've ever seen in terms of Eddie Murphy impersonation. And Jewel Sparkles Bigfoot, something that typically does not work, but totally did for me. I thought that the character was fully formed, and even though it was that gay stereotype and just some random character, for some reason, there was something special about it where I felt like I saw the character. She brought something to it that felt original. And it was fully committed. I was very confused that Lexi was in the top with her Gilbert Godfrey. So bad it's good to the judges. She's just laughing at herself. And I feel like Corey's Big Ange wasn't too bad, but we've seen a better Big Ange, for sure. But this Cupid, basically the whole top row, garbage. Then Nicole Richie, what was that girl's name? Crystal something. That Nicole Richie was just like, what was that makeup? Offensive, fully offensive. Moving on, at number 11 is season 3, the second ever Snatch Game. At number 10 is season 12, and at number 9 is season 4, the Romper Room. So season 3, Stacey Lane Matthews, Monique, but it was Monique as Precious. And it was very on point, but it was very simple. To me, I feel like on season 3, the real MVP of that Snatch Game is Alexis Mateo's lesbian butch Alicia Keys. I felt like she kept that Snatch Game moving and kept it fun. It didn't make any sense. It wasn't a great impression, but she was really funny. I didn't love Raja's Tyra. With everything that's happened in the last this year with that documentary, I feel like I should like that more. But it was, those jokes were easy back then, and I don't know. And then the other standout I feel like from season 3 is probably Yara Sophia's Amy Winehouse. Her trying to do an accent was really funny. But everyone else, the Cher, it was going to be a minute. The next year we were going to get a good one. The Tina Turner, I guess we still haven't really got a good Tina Turner, even though that's been done a couple times. Actually, it's right here. That's funny that the ones that had been redone on season 3, they're both right there. Season 12 is at number 10 because Gigi's Robot was good, and it was really smart. Lisa Rinna, Jackie Cox was fantastic. And even though we saw far less of her, the other person that really actually did slay it was Katharine Hepburn. It was our, edited out queen that and Cancel Queen that did that, which actually that's another trend that we have here for season 4 and 12. Slaying Snatch Game, but they're fully canceled. The Katharine Hepburn was so specific because it was to a specific Barbara Walters interview that I've seen before, and it was bizarre how good how well she had studied that interview and fully formed a character out of that one interview. So it had me cackling the little bit we got to see. The rest of the folks, it didn't work. And I mean, Aiden's was so bad that the person that she impersonated spoke out against her, said, I don't know that lady, because she claimed to know her. Jada was one of our millionth Cardi B's that was not funny before Godland. Who is this in this red wig? Oh, that's Jan as Bernadette Peters. That should have been funny. Who said that wasn't? And then Widow did Tina and Ike Turner, and neither one of them was funny. It was very cringe. Season 4. Now, even though this is the romper room effery, I feel like the iconic and funny moments outweigh that. The share that Chad Michaels did is so legendary and really did set the trend of changing costumes around. I want to say the very next season, season 5, people were already trying to replicate what Chad did in terms of being a character and then changing the outfits around. No one's ever done it as good as Chad did, and it was hilarious. There's no separation for me of like Cher and Chad in terms of the quotes and the jokes. It's just so perfect. It's just brilliant. It's like another level that Snatch Game hit by having Chad Michaels do Cher at Snatch Game and slaying it. Willem's Jessica Simpson had some funny moments. I actually thought Milan's Diana Ross had some funny moments too, but the judges, I often find Milan really funny and the judges don't live. And Dita's Wendy Williams, especially when things got crazy, she was really funny in the front row. But that front row is the mess. Our dearly departed Jiggly as Snooki, plus Fifi, plus Kenya Michaels, little Kenya Michaels, made a mess up there. But yeah, the winner of season 4, again, another Cancel Queen, her Michelle Visage and the way she bantered with Rue was really, really funny. It's not actually the best Michelle impersonation that we've seen on Drag Race, but boy, it was good improv. And Rue ate it up. Next, we're at number 6 through 8. And at number 8 is season 13. At number 7 is season 8. And at number 6 is season 2. This type of area is where I feel like maybe, it's going to be controversial, some of my picks and the order I put them in. But a lot of them are kind of interchangeable. Like I could be swayed to switch some around a little bit. But the reason why I have 13 at number 8 is it's one of those Snatch Games that is like really fun to watch because a lot of people do well, even the folks that aren't in the top. Simone's Harriet Tubman was really funny. Of course, Got Mixed, Paris Hilton was so on point. The Queen that Rosé did was funny, and it wasn't to the point yet where that had become a trope as well that got played out. So for hers, it was still worked to me. Denali was hilarious as the Queer Eye guy. And even though it was not a great impersonation at all, I thought Candy had a lot of funny answers that made me laugh out loud. I feel like she was just playing Candy, but she was still able to make me laugh. And Utica, honestly, in all the comedy challenges is so bad that it makes you laugh. It's so cringe that it's great. Season 8, Bob the Drag Queen really dominates this. Bob does Crazy Eyes and does Carol Channing. And both were great impersonations. I mean, obviously the Crazy Eyes. She's doing an actress, but like specifically Crazy Eyes from Orange is the New Black. That could have been difficult to make funny, and she made that work. Speaking of could be difficult to make funny, the Michael Jackson that Dorji did was really funny. That's one where I feel like I wish we got to see more of her, Michael. It was cute to see Derek as Brittany. It was peppy, kept it moving. And underrated in this group, I feel like Chi-Chi's version of Eartha Kitt. It's not Juju's, but I liked Chi-Chi's version that was Eartha Kitt, but also weirdly a cat. Like had cat instincts and played with the ball and licked her own leg. Like I thought that totally worked. There are like some heavy duds, like Kimchi should have been bottom 2. Naomi, Acid Betty, and Robbie. They're all really bad. But I feel like this is one where, even though 13 has more people that did well and were funny, the folks that like ace this, like Bob and Thorgy, are stronger than any of the folks to me on 13. Season 2, the first ever Snatch game, we have two of the most iconic performances still in this very first Snatch game, with Pandora's Carol Channing and Tatiana's hilarious and so quotable Brittany. I just got lost. Of course, Jessica Wilde's RuPaul, that's, so over the top and a mess, was hilarious. People like Pandora and Tatiana really set the bar. I mean, because they slayed this so hard. It should have been the first ever, like, double win. Because it's also, like, one of those challenges, if we did, like, a top 10 misremembered wins, a lot of people remember it as Pandora winning this Snatch game. But it was actually Tatiana. The folks that don't do well, like Morgan and Kylie, I feel like you can't even, like, hold them accountable the same way. Like, you're easier on them because it's the first one ever. It's so different than any other one. Like, they were figuring it out as they went. They'd never seen anyone play Snatch games. Next, we're in the top 5. At number 5, I have Season 10. At number 4, I have Season 9. Number 3, I have Season 5. These are all great Snatch games. Season 10 is kind of controversial because it is one where, like, there are moments that are so uncomfortable that it could put it lower. However, I feel like the good outweighs the bad again. Of course, Eureka's Honey Boo Boo was really funny. The Melania, which is, I would say, out of the majority of the Snatch games we looked at, one of those characters that is one of the hardest for us to want to laugh at, but she did it really well. For me, my favorite is Monet's Maya Angelou. Was so funny. Everything that came out of her mouth, so funny. Another person that could have absolutely been in the top was Cameron Michaels' China from WWE. It's so on point. It was so good and so funny. Asia definitely brings the Snatch game down a bit because she's also, like, bringing down the Blue Ivy character. That combination was a 1-2 punch of don't do that. That doesn't work. We've seen a lot of bad Beyoncés. We've seen Lil Kenya Michaels. We've seen Tyra's already on this list. And Asia's is definitely the worst. I'd take a, what do they call Lil Kenya Michaels? Like, on pills Beyonce versus this one yelling at her daughter and upset the whole time. We've never seen Beyonce like that. Number 4, Season 9, our first ever Liza with Alexis Michelle. But also you've got the Marlena Dietrich that was really funny, like in a unique way, like a quiet way that's hard to do on Snatch Game. Even though we'd already seen Alyssa Edwards done, I think that somehow Aja made this version of Alyssa a little bit different than the other one we'd seen. Like, just did I lose the Q&A portion? And just making it all about the pageant totally worked. They should unban doing Drag Race characters. I know they're probably afraid they're going to keep getting Alyssas. And just say you can ban doing Alyssa again. Because the Jasmine Masters was so funny. But also, folks that were just safe, like Shea Coulee's Naomi Campbell was so funny. And Valentina's, Miss Venezuela, or who was it? Miss what? Miss Colombia. Venezuela's what she did for the runway on All Stars 4. You've got not only the folks that were in the top, but then like 4 others that also totally slayed it and were hilarious. Now, even though on Season 5, at number 3, there's not as many people that do well, again, it's like a balance thing because you've got Jinx Monsoon's legendary Lil Edie, so good. And then also Roxy Andrews somehow being funny as Tamar Braxton. It wasn't laugh out loud hilarious, but what was Alaska's Lady Bunny. So funny. The 3 of them totally carried the Snatch Game because no one else in the lineup was funny. It's a 3-woman show. They completely turned it out the whole time. You don't mind those cringe moments like Alyssa doing Katy Perry or Detox getting up to Pia's Kesha because those 3 carry it so strong that you're still laughing from that. And Coco Montrese did Janet and wasn't able to make her funny, but she did change a few outfits, got to show those off. Again, the influence of Chad. It's such a fun Snatch Game to watch because of the top 3. The top 3, is this like I feel like this is the only time where the top 3 for Snatch Game were the top 3 of the season. Well, at number 1 and 2, it was actually really difficult to decide which one's number 1 and which one's number 2 because they're both pretty equally strong. At number 2, I have season 7, and at number 1, I have season 6. And honestly, they could flip flop. Season 7 is the first and only regular season Snatch game where we've had 2 winners with Kenny Davenport and Ginger Minge, both so funny. But also, Pearl's Big Ange, hilarious. I think she should have been in the top instead of Katya. Katya's Susie Orman was fine and did do good, but it is one of those unfortunate impersonations that is a copy of an SNL impersonation. Violet was able to be funny as Alyssa, which was a big risk because there's another Drag Race character up there, Haunted House, that did not work out. Overall, though, like, it's just a really great Snatch game to watch. And even the folks that bombed, they weren't that bad, especially compared to other seasons. I guess Max is pretty bad, but compared to some seasons, they look pretty damn good. And the Snatch game itself is just, there's so many iconic lines from so many of the girls. Me and Batman and Robin have a lot in common, baby. Everything Ginger says. And it's funny because Adele does have a big personality, but back then we didn't know Adele as well as we know her now. And so it's not the best Adele, but it's just so funny. Like, it worked at the time. It was perfect for what it was. And it's still hilarious to this day. And number 1, season 6, because you've got Bianca Del Rio's Judge Judy, so effing funny. Adore Delano's Anna Nicole, revelation. Like, all the top 3, because our winner was Ben de la Creme as Dame Maggie Smith. On any other season, that top 3, they would have absolutely won that Snatch game because they're so good. But also you've got Darian Lake's underrated Paula Deen, hilarious. Every little bit we see of her Paula Deen was so funny. Even Jocelyn had some funny moments. Actually, I want to say all of Jocelyn moments really worked as Teresa Giudice or Giudice. Coming. I think I might have won something. I'd say TKB, Gia, and Laganja are the only 3 that are, like, offensively bad. Like Milk and Courtney, at least the edit we see, they're not amazing, but they made it work. They kept it pumping. Well, now it's time to take a look at our YouTube thanks. And up first is Petunia Puzzle. You forgot that Lady Camden also had 3 wins on that season. This was on the video about the first Queen to 3 wins, and I talked about Bosco. And I just mistakenly did say that Bosco was the only queen on that season to have the 3 wins. But Lady Camden also did. And I looked at it and I was thinking, I wonder why my brain didn't think of her. And it's because she wins that Rue mix at the very end as her 3rd win. My brain has trouble remembering which seasons they have somebody win that challenge and which ones they don't, because 10, 11, they, well, I guess actually 9 through 11, no one wins the challenge for that Rue mix at the end with the top 4 or 5. And then 12, Gigi wins. 13, I don't think they had anyone win. They couldn't decide if they wanted to have that be a Maxi win. Because I remember being annoyed for the seasons where they skip it. Because there's queens that should have won that one. That could be a video. Next, Mac Pro said, I've really been enjoying the solo shows. You do a great job despite being alone. Thank you. Well, thank you, Mac Pro. I appreciate it. We'll have some co-hosts come back for April for sure. Basically all of April. And it's my birth month. April will be my birth month. So we'll celebrate by having somebody with me again. And then finally, Rainbow Sheep Shepherd said, I was rewatching Down Under Season 4 recently, and the returning queens that had appearances, they had 3 winners, 3 international all-stars from Down Under, and then Maxi Shield. Yeah, they did a good job at featuring all the previous winners plus Queen and Hannah plus Maxi. I want to say that's everyone. I guess I'm missing. Did they have Anita Wiglet too? Is that the 3rd All-Star? That has to be her, because I think she's the only other one at the time. They said based on the dates, I'm guessing it means that they planned on her being a main character on Down Under vs. the World, but she had to turn it down because she was too sick. I'm glad that we did get Maxi on that season though, thinking about it now, because everyone else was either winners or All-Stars already. And plus Maxi Shield, which is pretty fierce. I remember it feeling very correct that she was there. I hope they continue to do that if we get like another regular season for sure for Down Under. But like keep lifting up the brand by representing like the alumni that are successful. I like that. That's all I have for today. Let me know what you think about my ranking of the Snatch Games. How would you rank the Snatch Games overall for the US season? And would you want me to rank the All-Stars ones or international? I feel like UK would actually be pretty good because the Snatch Games are really good. I have one last thing to say today. Glad you got to see me.